Video 3. Importing data from Microsoft Excel files. In the previous video we looked at importing data from CSV. In this video we're going to take a look at how we import data from Microsoft Excel files and spreadsheets. Although Microsoft Excel supports some charting, sometimes you need more flexible and powerful visualization and need to export data from existing spreadsheets into Python for further use. A common approach to importing data from Excel files is to export data from Excel into CSV formatted files, and use the tools described in the previous video to import data using Python from the CSV file. This is a fairly easy process if we have one or two files and have Microsoft Excel or OpenOffice.org installed. But if we're automating a data pipe for many files as part of an ongoing data processing effort, we're not in a position to manually convert every Excel file into CSV. So we need a way to read any Excel file. Python has decent support for reading and writing Excel files through the project www.python-excel.org. This support is available in the form of different modules for reading and writing and is platform independent. In other words, we don't have to run it on Windows in order to read Excel files. The Microsoft Excel file format changed over time, and support for different versions is available in different Python libraries. The latest stable version of XLRD is 0.90 at the time of recording this video, and it has support for reading XLSX files. First, we need to install the required module. For this example, we'll use the module XLRD. This package is for reading data and formatting information from older Excel files. If you're using Linux, you can use pip in a virtual environment. Here's the command to do it. After successful installation, use the sample file section 2 xlss data.xlsx. Here's how it looks. We'll use a code example that demonstrates how to read a sample dataset from a known Excel file. We'll follow these steps in the code. 1. Open the file workbook. 2. Find the sheet by name. 3. Read the cells using the number of rows and columns. 4. For demonstration purposes, we only print the read dataset. So here's the code in a file called section2 xlsxread.py. Let's try to explain the simple object model that XLRD uses. At the top level we have a workbook that consists of one or more worksheets, and every sheet has a cell from which we can then read the value. We load a workbook from a file using OpenWorkbook, which returns the xlrd.book.book instance that contains all the information about a workbook, like sheets. We access sheets using sheetByName function. If we need all sheets, we could use the sheets function, which returns a list of the xlrd.sheet.sheet instances. The xlrd.sheet.sheet class has a number of columns as rows and attributes that we can use to infer ranges for our loop to access every particular cell inside a worksheet, using the method cell. There is an xlrd sheet cell class, although it's not something we want to use directly. Now we run the program, and that's the output. Nice. Note that the data is stored as a floating point number and not as a separate data type, but the XLRD module is able to inspect the value and try to infer if the data is in fact a date. So we can inspect the cell type for the cell to get the Python date object. The module XLRD will return XLRD XL_cell_date as the cell type if the number format string looks like a date. Here is a snippet of code that demonstrates this. This field still has issues, so please refer to the official documentation and mailing list in case you require extensive work with dates. A neat feature of XLRD is its ability to load only the parts of the file that are required in memory. There is an on-demand parameter that can be passed as true value while calling OpenWorkbook so that the worksheet will only be loaded when requested. See this example of code snippet for this. We didn't mention writing Excel files in this section, partly because there will be a separate video for that, and partly because there is a different module for that, XLWT. You'll see more about it in the 7th video of this section. If you need specific usage that was not covered with the module and examples explained earlier, here is a list of other Python modules on PyPy that might help you out with some spreadsheets. This is the webpage where you'll find different packages and spreadsheets. So that's all for this video. We've learned how to import data from Microsoft Excel files and workbooks. Awesome! In the next video, we'll look at importing data from fixed width data files.